Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. I'm glad to have you guys here once again with me. Before we get started, and we are going to get started right away, but before we get started, I want to make a correction. On a previous video, I said something about, I was talking about the gap, the distance between the ground coffee in the portafilter and the shower screen of the group head. And there was a comment in regards to a coin test. And I don't remember who I said that made that comment, but the comment came from somebody that goes under Right-Topa. So anyway, I'm sorry if I didn't say the right. I think I didn't. I think I didn't say the correct person. But anyway, Right-Topa, whoever that happens to be, welcome to our little club here. If you like for us to be able to communicate, you want to talk about where you're watching from or what equipment you're playing with, that's always fun to talk about and for me to know. But anyway, we're going to get right into the brewing. We're going to keep playing as promised with the coffee from El Salvador, the Bernardina variety. And this is a natural process coffee. We brewed it last time on the Tricklet, and we got, I would say we got a brew very similar to the geisha that we brewed last time from Good Brothers. So today I want to try to bring out a little bit more acidity. I want to get this to maybe brew it on the, we're going to try on the Origami. I hope I don't mess this whole thing up, but we're going to try on the Origami. We're going to shoot for a brew time of maybe 3 to 4 minutes. And we're going to do a 1:15 ratio. We're going to go with 20 grams of ground coffee, and we're going to try to get 300 grams of liquid out. Hopefully that'll happen in 3 to 4 minutes, and hopefully we get a tasty cup. So let's get right into it, and let's make a brew on the Origami. All right, so there you have it. That's the setup. The game plan is pretty much the same. I made 5 or 6 brews on the Origami. I've gotten a little practice on it. I still like to have the first pour, make the little hole, that kind of indentation, let's call it, that we made last time, and start by just filling that up and doing my first 100 grams, and hopefully the water saturates all the grounds evenly and at the same time. So that's still the same plan. As a matter of fact, last time I think the way that I recorded my first brew on the Origami, I think it's pretty much the same way that I want to keep it going, but with the difference that after the second pour, to swirl the coffee around, that's the only thing that I didn't do last time, and I think it's definitely a good idea to go ahead and swirl it to kind of level the bed, and that from then on the bed has always been nice and flat. So let's go ahead and grind and dose out and grind the 20 grams. So one thing I forgot to show you guys is the kind of filters I've been using on the Origami, and these are just regular Hario V60 filters, just the normal kind of stuff that everybody uses. So these are the ones I have been using so far in the Origami. You could use also the flat bottom ones, but this is how I started to learn with, and so far it's been working out well. So yeah, these are the filters. This coffee smells really good, guys. Again, this is a very aromatic coffee, just like the geisha last time. All right, we have our 20 grams all weight. Let's go ahead and get it here in the grinder. Today we're gonna go ahead and grind at 6. I definitely want to keep it towards the higher end. As far as the setting on the hand grinder, on the K+, I want to keep it towards the higher end of what I've been doing as far as pour overs. So you see the little red dot there, so we have it set right at the 6. So we're gonna grind 20 grams at 6 on the K+, and hopefully we'll get about a 3 to 4 minute brew on the Origami. Again, when you're dealing with a light roast, you kind of have to fight with it a little bit more. It's a lot tougher to grind a light roast coffee than it is a medium or a dark roast. But usually don't take no longer than maybe 25 seconds. All right, the first thing I want to do is rinse out the paper and warm up the carafe, the brewer, and then that hot water, I'll go ahead and put it in the cup so the cup gets really hot as well. All right, so just like I told you guys last time, the kettle takes about 4 minutes to heat up to, I'm gonna brew at 98 degrees Celsius, so just below boiling. It's a nice light roast, so you either wanna go at boiling or just under that. And again, we're gonna go at 98 degrees Celsius. And once again, the kettle that I use is the Fellow Stag EKG, and that kettle takes about 4 minutes to get up to temperature. All right, so we're up to temperature. It's at 98. Let's go ahead and rinse the filter and heat up the carafe and the cup. Again, it's just so easy to control the stream as it comes out. It's a real pleasure to use that kettle. So easy to control everything. It's just so well made. So far, I'm very impressed with it. So let's go ahead and put that hot water into the cup so it can start getting hot, and then we'll go ahead and put in the coffee. Just shake it around to kind of even out the bed of coffee. And I just use a chopstick to kind of create that little hole in the middle. Let me show that to you guys. I mean, I did previously, but all right, basically that's just what we're trying to do there, right? We want to create that right there, and then we're gonna fill up with water right from the middle all the way up until it saturates all the grounds, and hopefully that gives you a nice blooming stage and saturates all the grounds at the same time. And so far I've been getting good results, so why change something that's working? Let's put this back on here. Okay, start the scale. All right, let me go ahead and start the time. And we're gonna shoot for maybe 3 to 4 minutes. All right, we got our first 100 grams poured in. All right, that only took about 30 seconds. It's almost all drained through, so I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for that second pour. We're gonna do another 100 grams, and this time kind of start on the outside and work our way in so that we can wash the whole coffee all the way down. And now this is the part I was telling you guys. What I've been learning is that you need to do a swirl. You want to swirl it around the way I just did, because that's going to flatten out the bed of coffee and everything's gonna be in the middle. Then our next pour, we'll start in the middle, work our way outwards, and do our last 100 grams, and we'll see where we end up as far as the time. All right, right now it's right around 2 minutes, and it's almost drained all the way through, so I'm gonna go ahead and get ready for the third pour, do our last 100 grams. All right, we're at 300. Let me bring you guys in closer. Okay, again, it's showing 3.5 minutes, but that's really more like 3 minutes and 10 seconds maybe, because again, I know that I started the clock and by the time I had the camera going and everything, I lost about 20 seconds. But there you see the coffee is draining through. All right, we're getting our final drawdown here. This is gonna be about a 4.5 minute brew, way too long. I need to grind coarser. So we were at 6. Next time I might even go to 7. We'll see, we might go to 6.5, maybe 7. But for sure, we're gonna have to speed this up. This whole process took about 4 minutes and 40 seconds, something like that. So like a minute too long. But anyway, let's taste it. Let's see what we got. It's pretty much done. Let me show you guys what the bed ended up looking like and give you one more peek at it. All right, so there you see it. I mean, it's not perfect, but it is pretty flat. It's not too muddy. It looks all right, but we're definitely gonna have to grind quite a bit coarser to get in the right range. But we're gonna taste it. Let's see what we got today. Let's see what Proud Mary has to offer us. All right, so cup is nice and hot. Let's swirl this around really well. Make sure it's mixed well. And let's try it. Proud Mary, Bernardina, brewed on the Origami. Definitely a very aromatic coffee, like I keep saying. Just like the geisha, very nice. Smells great. It's very hot right now, but let's give it a first try. All right, right away I do notice a difference, definitely higher acidity than on the Tricklet. Still not much. It's pretty much like the geisha, maybe even a little bit less. This is definitely a sweeter coffee. Again, maybe if we speed it up, we gotta shoot for, again, those 3 minutes on the Origami. We gotta knock off like a whole 1.5 minutes off of our brew time. And maybe we'll get some more acidity, but right now it's very sweet. Yeah, sweet and fruity, but delicious, I gotta say. I hope I get some more. Some of you guys telling me on different interesting coffees that we can try. I would definitely like to order some more, and keep checking out different coffees, different roasters. Wow, smells great. All right, so we're gonna let it cool down a little bit, and we'll keep tasting it. All right, so who's treating themselves to a new coffee machine or a new grinder or any kind of gadgets now at the end of the year? Anyone has anything in mind? You guys let me know, comment below. All right, it's building more flavors as it cools. You know, it's funny, I always say the same thing, but all of them are a little bit different. They're all a little bit different. You know, you get spoiled, like with the specialty coffees, you start to get spoiled, right? Your taste buds, they start to look for certain things that you start liking in the coffees. Like the other day when the last few times I've been brewing in the morning, the one from Dunkin' Donuts, because I was learning on the origami, and that coffee is just fine. It's perfectly fine. I always recommend it for somebody that wants to start out and wants to get into light roast. They want to have something that gives you a little extra something. That's a good one to start with. And it's not very expensive, so it's good for learning. You want to learn how to do pour overs or espresso. That coffee works for both, for espresso and for pour overs. It's a good one to learn with. But the point is that you start getting spoiled. You start kind of like appreciating the specialty coffees more. Your average consumer is not going to be ready for that. At all. I think your average consumer might just say, like, they might even like the Dunkin' Donuts one better, just because it's more of what they're used to. It's more familiar. This is more tea-like. It's more, well, this level of clarity and acidity and stuff like that. You don't find that in usual coffees that you order, all over. In some places you do, but in most places, your run-of-the-mill diners and kind of spots where people usually go for breakfast and they'll get coffee outside of the house, you're not gonna get anything like that. And if you're used to like the little pods and stuff like that, some of them might give you a little something special, but in my experience, not much. It's nothing like grinding your own beans and making it yourself. And it's just the whole process, the grinding, using the different grinders, using different brewing methods and experimenting with all of that. I recently spoke about making Turkish coffee. You might just be used to the mocha pot. I know that for me, if I made coffee at home way back when, it was either just regular drip coffee or the mocha pot. That was my take on making coffee at home. But then, I got the espresso machine and I wanted to learn and I wanted to get into the hobby. And man, instead of like, sometimes you get into a hobby and you just get bored of it, or you just don't like it or whatever, But this has been something that I've gotten more and more into. It's really crazy, when you really get into it and you just go down that rabbit hole of, experimentation and trying all the different tools and toys, and it's pretty crazy. You could spend a lot of money. Oh yeah, I was talking to you guys about this. Let me get it. I don't know if everyone watching saw the video where I spoke about the little can here. It says El Retiro. El Retiro is the name of the farm that produced the coffee. So El Retiro in El Salvador. But the funny part about it is that El Retiro means the retirement. And I was saying that, if you keep buying coffees like this, you might not get to retire. It's funny how they named it the El Retiro, the retirement. But yeah, I do like supporting all the roasters. I like supporting the local roasters. There's a couple of them here in town that I frequent. I try to get coffees from them as well. Now on the weekends, I always make coffee in the afternoon, which is my afternoon brew. That's what I've always been filming. And I make coffee in the morning. So that's the couple days in the week when I actually make coffee more than once. I make pour overs every morning, but in the weekends, I splurge a little more. I have more time. I can dedicate a little more time to my hobby. And it's just fun. It gives you that afternoon boost. Now, there's some body in this coffee. I got it when, usually on the trickler, you're gonna get some, it's gonna have some body to the coffee. But definitely got it today again on the Origami. It's a pretty color. It's not super dark. It's reddish, very pretty. Smells great. Very fruity, definitely. if it's sweet. So if you're like into the Ethiopian coffees, the ones that I've tried, a lot of the times they'll be very similar to this. And again, the geisha that we had last time from Guatemala, very similar, very similar. Fruity coffee, delicate flavors, not overwhelming, mild acidity, very floral, very fragrant, a lot of smell associated with the coffee. And it was lovely, and so is this one. But you really appreciate the subtle differences. Anyway, I want to pull a shot and make a cappuccino, and I don't want this video to become an hour long. Like it happens every time. I can't help it. Let me just go ahead and pause the video right here. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I finish the coffee, and we'll pull a shot. We'll go ahead and I still have some of that liquid amber. We'll pull a shot with the liquid amber and make a cappuccino, and then we'll chit chat a little bit more. All right, so I have to say that cup of coffee from Proud Mary was absolutely delicious. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And now we're gonna go ahead and pull a shot to make a cappuccino. One thing I haven't talked about is that I usually just, put away the hand grinder in the little case that it came with. This is the little carrying case that comes with the grinder. If you guys wanna know more about the grinder, I have a review video on the channel already. Check that out. And yeah, I keep it right in here. It's so easy to, keep everything nice and tidy and clean. So it stores away. All right, no stress, no mess. All right, so as far as the milk, you guys know I like to get it ready beforehand. As a matter of fact, let me report back to you guys that I measured the amount of milk in here, which I still hadn't done it. Now, I knew that if you stayed right around the bottom of the spout, it's 8 ounces, because I think almost all of them are like that. I know that in this one, it was gonna be right around 8 ounces, and I measured it, and to where I've been filling, which is just below that, it's only 7 ounces. So being that I use about maybe 5 ounces in my cappuccino, I've been wasting very little milk, so I'm happy to report back on that. Anyway, you guys know that I like to put the sugar already in there, sugar's in there, to let it start incorporating. And then when you steam it, it's all gonna mix together and it's gonna be perfect. Once you know how sweet it is that you like it, then you don't have to mess with sugar or anything else afterwards. Just enjoy your drink. Let's go ahead and dose out 18 grams, the little cup that came with the niche. Okay, again, I always talk about the little canister that I used to hold the beans, the liquid amber beans. The reason why I put only those beans in here is because I know that coffee is gonna last me for a while. So I keep it in here so that it stays as fresh as possible. These little canisters, they make a vacuum. You just twist them like this and they make a vacuum for you. It starts to get tight, and then there's a little button here that turns green. I don't think you could see that on the camera there, but as soon as that goes in, then you have your seal ready to go. So just store your beans in something like this if you want it to last as long as possible. I know some people, for like really long lasting, you can freeze them. I've never tried that. My coffee never lasts that long. So, okay, so we are bouncing between 18 and 18.1. It's funny how that always happens. All right, it should be focused right there. We have 18.1 showing. Let's see how the niche does today for the retention. This is everyone's favorite part of the video. It's funny how that happens. All right. All right, so you guys know that when it's done, I always start it one more time just in case there's a bean that hasn't fallen through. We seem to have gotten everything. Let's do the little love tap that Angel tells me to make sure you get that last little bit of retention. I don't know. It's funny, we weighed that last time, but if you haven't seen that video. All right, look, we got a little bean stuck in there today because we're at 17.9, so we're missing 0.2. All right, so we ended up with 17.9 today, so we lost a little. All right, that's gonna be fine. Again, I always say it, I wonder if I'll ever run into a person that can really tell the difference between 0.1, 0.2 of a gram on a shot. I think that's pretty much impossible, but all right, let's do some puck prep. All right, let's make sure it's dry. Good to go. All right, this here is called a dosing funnel. I talk about it all the time, or dosing ring or dosing funnel. It goes right over the top to give you just a little bit more space so that you can keep everything tidy. If not, sometimes the grounds will overfill and fall out. All right. Let me show you guys what I mean. All right, that should be focused there. But you can see, let me bring it over here, there's more light. You can see that that went all the way to the top like that. If you don't have a little bit, this, giving you that little bit of extra space, you would have some spillage, and now you'll be dealing with a little mess. Those of you that have been into the coffee game for a while, you guys know that very, very well. All right, WDT, Weiss distribution technique. It's just some little thin needles to kind of move the coffee around, distribute it, declump it, if you have any clumps. And this, the idea behind this is to reduce channeling. So channeling is where the water, as it's pushing through the ground coffee, it finds a weak point, and then it just channels through there, and you don't get a good extraction. So if you want a nice even extraction doing some kind of distribution, I suggest a WDT. They're super cheap. Just get one of those and do your distribution with that, and you should be fine. If I remove this right now, I might still have a little spillage. It depends on the coffee and how fine you ground it. Now, the way I have this set up right now, it should give me a 30 to 35 second shot. That's a double shot with the unpressurized basket on the Breville infuser. And yeah, so the way I have it set up right now, it's coarse enough that there's not a lot of room, so I'm gonna have to push it down. Usually what I do is push it down with the tamper that came with the Breville, so that when I remove this, there's no spillage. You can see that. And then this tool here, it's a tamper and a distribution tool. Now, I always say it, but does that do anything? Probably not. But we do it anyway. It's part of the routine. Now, the way this is set up, I don't even really need to tamp with this because I know this is gonna press it down enough. It goes all the way down until it's metal against metal. And if you get it to at least right there, you'll have the right gap when you go lock it in the infuser. You will not get an imprint of the shower screen of the group head on your ground coffee. So therefore you have enough of a gap. It could be more than that, but you need at least a minimum gap. You don't want the ground coffee pressing up against the shower screen or the group head. I always check it anyway. But yeah, that didn't go down at all. So I know we're good. Now we should get about a 30-second shot. Let's see. Let me set up the scale, bring you guys in closer. All right, man, that liquid amber from Good Brothers, that coffee pours so nice. It comes out so nice every time. You get so much crema, it looks beautiful. Okay, so basically this scale has like an automatic mode. I love using it. It weighs and times your shot at the same time. I always shoot for a 1-to-3 ratio. That means I have 18 grams of ground coffee in the portafilter. So I'm looking to get 54 grams of liquid out, okay? So I always do a manual extraction with the infuser. So you just press either the single shot or the double shot button and hold it down. As long as you're holding it down, you can do pre-infusion. I believe on this machine, it lets you do 5, 6, 7 seconds, whatever it is. And then the pressure starts to build up. So once you release the button, it'll build up to full pressure, okay? And it'll brew your shot. And then to stop it, all you do is you hit the same button again and it'll stop brewing. So that's how you do a manual shot. All right, so let's go ahead and turn on the scale. Okay, now before you put the cup on there, you see it says ESP, that's the automatic espresso mode. The A begins to flash. When the A starts flashing, you can put the cup on there. It's gonna weigh the cup, but then it's gonna tear out and then you'll be ready to brew. Okay, so you put it on there, you see it weighs it, but then it tears out. You get this A flashing again. When your A is flashing, now you can start brewing. So let's go ahead, press the button down and do pre-infusion. I always try to stop it at around 52 grams because then it keeps dripping. All right, here we go. All right, you see it starts timing as soon as it senses the liquid falling on the cup. Again, we're looking for around 30 seconds to as much as 45 seconds. With this coffee, you go to 45 seconds, it'll still be delicious. Okay, we're almost there. At 52, I'll try to stop it. Okay, it always keeps dripping a little bit. All right, so there you have it. We ended up with 53.8 grams of liquid and in 30 seconds. So it took 30 seconds for the brew. So that should be delicious. That should be our base there for our cappuccino. Okay, and I always taste the shots. I recommend that you do that. It kind of starts to build your palate. Plus you're checking your coffee to see if you want to go maybe a little bit coarser, a little bit finer, see if you want to adjust that brew time. So it's always a good idea to get used to tasting the shot. Man, that liquid amber from Good Brothers hits the spot every time. Now this is a lot darker roast than the one that we were having from Proud Mary. For pour overs, definitely the light roast is where it's at, no doubt about it. But for milk base, at least for me, I like something darker like this. It gives you that chocolate, caramel type of burnt sugar type of flavors, and it's just great to mix with milk. We'll see if we get any latte art today. Fat chance of that happening, but hey, we gotta keep trying. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Will we get anything today?
I can't believe what I found when I get a little piece of you into.
What a surprise. The same like usual. We got something, like always, but anyway, you'll see. All right, that should be focused there. But yeah, we always start pretty good. Like my first part of it always comes out pretty nice looking, at least to me. I mean, I know it's not perfect, but to me it's, it's okay. The second one today, yeah, man, I don't know. It looks like some wings or something, like a bird. And then the third part's supposed to be a little hard, but I couldn't get the milk to keep pouring out nice and smoothly. So it kind of went, well, you could see there. Anyway, we keep trying. At least I got something. Let's see the layer of foam. All right, for a cappuccino, that looks like a nice layer of foam there. Now let me show you guys how much milk is left. You see, it's not a lot. Maybe like there's like, I don't know, a couple ounces in there. So that's what we're playing with. I think it was a successful cappuccino attempt. And the latte art, again, it's lacking like always, but let's taste it. That's the main thing. All right, so let's go ahead and taste this cappuccino. It's looking pretty. Cheers. If anybody's having coffee with me at the moment, enjoy it. Savor the moment. The little things in life, like I always say, is not a big deal. It's just making coffee. But so yeah, anyway, just enjoy it, guys. Cheers. I always say the same thing, man. That first taste is just so good. It's like perfect every time. Nice big layer of foam. It's so good, so good. Today's coffees, we got Good Brothers Liquid Amber, and we have Proud Mary's Bernardina variety. Light roast, dark roast. So anyway, if it's the first time you run into one of these videos, consider joining our little team here. Consider joining our little club. You can make some coffee with us. I try to put out a video once a week on Sunday mornings usually. And yeah, we sit around, chit chat a little bit, enjoy some coffee. It's so good, man. It's perfect. Wow. Anyway, you guys see how I've been using the hand grinder, the K Plus, the Easy Presso K Plus, for pour overs almost entirely. And I've been using for espresso the niche almost always. There are some I have done both for both things, but most of the time that's how I've been doing it. In the mornings for sure, it's nothing but the K Plus. It makes zero noise. So if you live in an environment where you want to make coffee, you want to grind your own beans, and it's early in the morning, you don't want to make noise, get a hand grinder. And I said it on a previous video, but if I would have known about the K Plus from when I first started getting into coffee, I would have just bought that. I think I would have just started with that. I think it's a great option because it gives you great coffee. It's super consistent, easy to dial in, a pleasure to use. The build quality of it is tremendous. I mean, you just look at it, it's just like a piece of steel, you know? Everything's like, there's nothing you could break or nothing could go wrong with it. Zero retention. You don't have to worry about retention. You don't have to worry about anything. It's just extremely consistent. Wow, you know, it's a great option. It's a great option. As a matter of fact, I think everyone should have a hand grinder. Now that I have one, I think everyone should get one, at least one, you know? Now, the only problem with it, if you're gonna do a lot of shots, a lot of coffees, you know, you don't want to be, you know, it's gonna get old quick if you're doing a whole bunch. But if it's just for yourself, or maybe you pull a couple shots per day, it's very reasonable just to have a hand grinder. Great quality. As a matter of fact, you know, as far as the price though, I gotta say, you know, like the Breville Smart Grinder, it's actually less money than the hand grinder. I think the hand grinder, I think when I bought it, it was like $250, and the Breville Smart Grinder is only $200. So, you know, it's not a huge difference. I still think it's well worth it to just get the hand grinder. Now, once you can afford it and you want to go to something like the niche, that's a different ball game. You know, it's just a different ball game. The niche is a great grinder. You can use it for pour over, you can use it for espresso, and again, very consistent. It's bulletproof. It's ridiculous the way it's made and the way it functions. So easy. Anybody can get the hang of it like right away. Stepless, so you can make like minute adjustments just to dial in just the way you want it. Anyway, I have videos on the channel already on both, on the niche and on the hand grinder, so look for it in there. I have videos on the Tricklet and now on the Origami. I'm just getting started on that one. I'm just learning that brewer, but it's fun trying all the brewers and all the different methods, different grinding methods. It's just a lot of fun. All right, guys, so I'm not gonna chit chat a whole bunch today. I wanna keep this video reasonable. I know we did a pour over, and whenever I do both things, a pour over and espresso, the video ends up going into like 45 minutes to an hour. And I gotta see how I can manage the thing, so I don't know. I don't know. If I keep going into like an hour-long videos, I'll just keep splitting them. Keep splitting them, or just put an hour-long video on there. You know, you just start talking, and we're enjoying the coffee and just having chit-chatting, having a little fun. Time flies. Before you know it, you end up with an hour-long video. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. It helps us a whole bunch. We want to build this thing. Hopefully, we can do some lives eventually. If we ever get, you need 1,000 subscribers to do lives. So, yeah, who knows? If we ever make it, then we'll try it. If not, we just keep doing this. It's fun. It's easy. I make coffee anyway. Every morning, I make coffee in the afternoons on the weekend, regardless whether I'm filming or not. So, just grabbing the camera setting things up. You know, it's like an extra hour of my time. It's not a big deal. Now the editing is what, wow, editing videos, man, I really hate it, but maybe one day I'll get good at it. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Please give the video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.